When I was a boy, my grandmother used to say, "The soul is the most beautiful thing God ever created." She never told me what it looks like when it's missing. The name's Sam Rourke. Used to chase missing persons, missing things, the kind of cases folks didn't want out in the daylight. Didn't believe in ghosts, still don't. But souls? That's a whole other matter. It was sometime after midnight when I heard it, just a soft whisper under the door. I was halfway through a glass of cheap bourbon and a cigarette I wasn't really enjoying. Didn't hear any footsteps, just the sound of trouble arriving on paper. Plain envelope, no return address, sealed with red wax. Nothing good ever comes in wax. Inside was a note with a matchbook. The note read, "Better times from the Crimson Door. Don't you remember?" And underneath, a name written in shaky ink, Silas Slide Morgan. I hadn't heard that name in 15 years. The Crimson Door was a jazz club that burned down in '37 before I was around these parts. But Slide Morgan, hell of a horn player, hell of a reputation. But that's about where my knowledge of the guy hit a dead end. If anyone knew more, it was my old war buddy Bill. Runs a dusty little pawn shop tucked off Cahuenga near the Strip. Bill had a knack for knowing things most folks didn't even know could be known. After the war, while the rest of us were learning how to be civilians again, Bill went chasing relics through the Amazon jungle and crawling into tombs in the Egyptian sand. Said he was looking for lost pieces of the world. I didn't ask questions. I just knew if there was something to find, Bill had probably already found it, sold it, and kept the story in his back pocket for a rainy day. So I gave him a ring. Figured he'd still be up. Bill's a night owl like me, never trusted mornings, and before I knew it, I was in a cab headed his way. Sounded like he had an earful waiting, just didn't want to spill it over the phone. Bill greeted me like no time had passed. He had the same eyes that had seen too much, or should I say, eye. He got right to it. Told me Slide came up from New Orleans. Skinny, broke, carried a trumpet like it was carved from bone. No one knew where he stayed. No one knew who taught him. But when he played, it was like the devil himself was keeping time. Bill said Slide made a deal. Back booth at the Crimson Door, left-handed handshake. Signed the contract. Next night, Slide played a set no one ever forgot. And then the club caught fire. No cause, no survivors, just smoke, glass, and a hell of a lot of questions. 3 days later, they found Slide in an alley off Western. No blood, just a single puncture at the base of the neck, like something reached in and took what it came for. Bill went to the back and brought out an old worn briefcase. Set it on the counter. Some cases start loud. Some start with a scream. Bill opened the latch, real slow, A golden glow spilled out, lit up the whole room. "Is that what I think it is?" Bill just nodded, real quiet, like he was afraid to speak. "It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Bill said I was sent here to protect it, told me to take it before it decided to find someone else. And just like that, I had the devil's briefcase in my hand. Didn't know what was inside, but I had an idea. Only thing I knew for sure. It wasn't gonna let me walk away clean. That briefcase wasn't just heavy in my hands. It was heavy in my gut, like I'd just signed up for something and forgot to read the fine print. Didn't feel right calling a cab. I needed air. I needed space. I needed a goddamn cigarette. Mostly, I needed time to figure out what the hell I just got myself into. I took the long way home, down Sunset, past the Chinese theater, what's left of the glamour anyway. The stars on the sidewalk, just names now. Ghosts with no one left to haunt. There's a shortcut behind the old back lot. Used to shoot cowboy flicks and monster pics back there, but the reels stopped rolling a decade ago, and nobody ever fixed the fence. I remember taking Sandy back here on one of our first dates. She loved that old swashbuckler Kitty Hawk. Said the ending sword fight gave her goosebumps. So I brought her right to the spot where they shot it. The stage was half rotted even back then, but she lit up like it was opening night. I still think about her sometimes. It's a funny thing, walking through a dead film set. You start to wonder if you're in a movie yourself. One of the bad ones. The kind that don't end well. The old cemetery sat at the edge of the back lot. Hollow Oaks. They built it long before the city swallowed this place whole. Just beyond the gates was my place. A couple blocks through the dead. Figured I'd seen worse. The rain had let up, but the ground still held it. All the movie stars from the old days were buried here. I passed a crooked headstone. Daniel W. Grafton, it read. Pioneer of the pictures, buried with more reels than friends. Next to him was Marion Pickley, the first lady of the silver screen, gone before the talkies could catch her voice. Not many remember them anymore, but they built the bones of this old town. The cemetery was quiet, too quiet. Then the air shifted, cooler, heavier, like something ancient just took notice. I felt eyes, felt them before I saw anything. Then, out of nowhere, I heard the voice, polite, calm, almost curious. "Ever hear the story of the three brothers?" Said it was one of his favorites. It seemed to amuse him. Three brothers, all from the same house, but they called their father by different names. Then he laughed. Real soft, like he was remembering a vaudeville show. They built fences, drew lines in the sand, started throwing stones. Before long, they forgot they were brothers. He grinned through the smoke. There was an eerie stillness in the air. After a bit of the devil's small talk, he said he wanted his briefcase back. Said the contract was signed and the deal was done. one of many in his vast portfolio. "That soul's been mine since the ink dried," he said. The bastard snapped his fingers, and just like that, there we were, stuck in a fire hotter than 10,000 suns. A place I could only imagine in the depths of my darkest nightmares. And then he said it, the thing that broke me. Jesus Christ was the only human to walk out of hell on his own. So ask yourself, what chance do you have? That was the moment. Right then, I knew. I handed it over, and then everything went blackened. My head hit the floor. Next thing I knew, I was back in my apartment, laid out like some two-bit drunk in the gutter. I thought I was protecting a soul. Turned out, I was just delivering it. Granny wouldn't be too happy with me. And Jesus? Well, I don't think he was ever the biggest fan of me anyway. But I figured I should probably stop digging that hole. Then I heard a knock. Soft but steady. At first I didn't know if it was inside my head, but then I realized it was the door. I turned the knob, and there she was, Sandy. I hadn't seen her in years, long enough for the memories to fade, but not the regret. She didn't smile. Didn't even say hello, just, "Do you still have the briefcase?" Briefcase? How the hell do you know about? She put her hand over my mouth. "We don't have time for that." Then she said the part that made my head swim. Slide Morgan was her father, and she'd been working for years to set his soul free. She wanted me to go with her to England to meet her father's old mentor, Professor Beckley. He's been studying Arthurian scrolls and ancient Bible texts for decades, digging up stories about how the Knights of the Round Table weren't just after holy relics, they were battling demons straight out of hell. Funny how I knew something about that, in more ways than one. Beckley's got a research institute inside an ancient castle. Dates back to King Arthur, but apparently his studies go back even further. A paper trail that stretches from the time of Christ through the enlightened East and straight into the mud of the war. Sandy said there was more to the story, something they'd kept buried, stitched up between the cracks of history. Not just secrets, something deeper. A united energy, she called it. Like stray wires humming in the dark. Till one day, they all lit up at once. She said she needed my help, and then she kissed me. Years apart, gone in a second. Only problem is, how do I save one man's soul when I nearly just lost my own?